G'day. This is a highlight from my Twitch channel, and it ended up being a segment that was just so interesting that I wanted to upload it to YouTube. It was very spontaneous. I was making a joke about bring Myelin to work day, and I asked chat who has an interesting job, and someone in chat was a paleontologist, which I didn't really know what that was. Turns out she works with actual dinosaur bones. So we had this massive conversation about dinosaurs, and it was epic. You have to excuse some of the audio levels. I honestly wasn't really planning to do an interview, and so and it's hard to get audio levels right. And if I did realize I was going to have this amazing talk, I would have spent a little bit of time getting everything a little bit better, and I also would have turned off the sound effects in the game. But regardless, I hope you enjoy. If you have an interesting job, please let me know. I think this could be a segment while I do my daily Destiny dishes. I'd love to have a chat with you. Enjoy.
Yeah, I have that muted. Okay, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I did not expect to be picked, so I was quite surprised as I'm on Europa right now, and I was like, oh my god, I guess I should, put my game down.
Don't be saying you're a paleontologist and not be prepared to back it up.
Well, I work in the paleontology field, so when it comes to something like paleontology, and general Earth sciences in general. So basically, as a quick
yeah, take me back to the beginning. I've got zero knowledge.
No. Oh, you okay? All right. Well, if you really want the beginning, all right.
Not the beginning of time, just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Well, it does deal with the fact that when Jurassic Park did come out, and I was 3 or 4, my dad snuck me to see it, and that was it. That just completely.
You got into paleontology because of Jurassic Park?
I did. Yes.
Wow.
I already loved Land Before Time, and I was already into dinosaurs, but that movie just kind of sealed the deal.
Did you study with a lot of people that were like that?
Yes and no. There's a whole lot in between from that moment to where I am now, as always in life. But basically, that was what changed where I really wanted my path to kind of directly go down. So I'm what you call a fossil preparator. You're
a what?
Yeah, a fossil preparator. So that basically means I'm one of the people that's in a lab. All of the dinosaur fossils that come in from our digs go through me and another crew, and we're the ones who are prepping them in the lab. We're cleaning all of what we call matrix off. So that's everything.
Wait, do you actually deal with dinosaur fossils?
That's exactly what I do. I clean them for research.
Huh?
Clean them.
Fucking hell!
Put them back together. Any areas we study all the different types of diseases, tumors, cancers, injuries. Everything that's on them goes through us. To give you an example, I opened up a rack of stegosaur ribs. They were huge. And on one of the ribs were just perfect 9 little notches going down the side of it, which was from a theropod or amoebaene dinosaur that lived during that time in the late Jurassic. So it was really cool to go, all right, this animal is, over 120 million years old, and I'm one of the first people to ever see that an animal was basically chewing on the carcass. And that's really important for us to understand, because we can also tell, too, if the animal that was chewing on the stegosaur, was the stegosaur already dead? Was it already alive? Was it fighting between that time so it could actually heal? So this stegosaur was already dead, so it was just a carcass somebody was munching on. But that stuff's really important for us when it comes to understanding how these animals lived, as well as comparing them to how animals live now in nature. Because, of course, for anybody who doesn't know, all birds are dinosaurs, technically.
Have you ever come across someone who doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
I hate to say it, but yes, and it's in family
What?
members. Which
What was that, like at a party or something? Or someone was like,
oh my god, yeah, it's happened in the past. Where I work is a research museum. I work with some incredibly amazing paleontologists and researchers in general that have made incredible discoveries. I mean, there's animals I've worked on that I could not tell anybody about until the paper was officially released to be peer reviewed.
oh yeah,
So,
you can tell us though, because we wouldn't tell anyone.
you won't tell anybody. One of them is called Dreadnoughtus. It's this fantastic titanosaur, a big long neck dinosaur that lived down in South America.
Dread what? Like a dreadnought?
Yeah, dreadnought. It's oh god, that was such a badass term when everybody was debating what it was going to be named. Usually there's like a list of names everybody goes through, whoever's on that dig, to best, describe what was that animal probably like, what represents it best. And that was the winning term. Dreadnoughtus, because basically once they
Dreadnoughtus.
yeah.
Can I look this up? Will I be able to find a picture of this?
Oh yeah, you'll see the stuff. Yeah, I mean the femur alone, which for anybody who doesn't know anatomy, the femur is your upper, like your thigh. The femur for this one animal was 6.5 feet long, and I could lay on it like a bed, and I'm 5'4". It's really cool.
Oh, it looks like a Brachiosaurus, right?
Yeah, so it was about 7 stories tall, which is really cool. At the time of its peer-reviewed study, it was technically the heaviest dinosaur that was ever to be known. I think it's already been beaten out by some other titanosaur in South America. Ugh! But it was really, really cool to work on.
So where are your most of your dinosaur bones coming from at the moment? Is there like a gold mine somewhere where there's just someone's just found like a bunch of bones and it's crazy, or what?
It's really everywhere. I mean, especially for people in America like myself, our places are out in like, we dig in Montana and Wyoming.
Right, in America?
Yes.
Really?
America is holy shit. That place is and North America in general is a just gold mine of stuff. I mean, we have an
Is
entire.
it something to do with how they're preserved, or is it just the area that there was heaps of fucking dinos?
It's a combo. And this goes into paleontology is a combination of biology and geology. So the study of life and the study of the earth and the rocks. And so all of that stuff's super important. When we go out looking for dinosaurs, we have to think about, at first, where we are location-wise, what kind of rocks formed in that location, and what's eroded. It's not something where you go into your backyard and you dig up your friend's mother's Zen rock garden as a child, thinking dinosaur bones would be there. Trust me, I did it. It didn't go well.
I was like, it sounds like something you did, mate.
Whoops, it is. You have to go to places that already have rock exposed. So if you look at places like the Badlands in North America, Dinosaur National Monument, a Grand Canyon, for example, is just a good example of how over time, this tiny little river cut out this massive canyon just from wind and water erosion. So it's pretty cool, and sometimes you just literally will trip over a fossil, and then you're like, well, I guess let's dig it out, see what it is, and it turns out to be like an entire massive turtle.
What's the most common way for people to is it like mining or like oil or something that people discover these fossils? Like how do they get discovered in the first place, and how do you get involved?
So how they normally get discovered, half the time it's accidental. So think about and that's really how paleontology and science all happen in general. It just happens from experience. A lot of times you're on a riverbank and you see something that kind of looks like a bone. You'll be on the beach, something washes up. There was a really, really cool fossil that actually was found in Australia, and I'll link it in the Discord, and it was completely opalized. It was the lower jaw of, I think, a type of theropod, a meat-eating dinosaur, if I'm not mistaken. And it was completely opalized, which is so cool. is a whole thing in itself. I teach paleontology where I work as well, so it's one of those that you get into a spiral of all the
Well,
shit.
I went to, have you heard of Exmouth in Western Australia?
No.
Oh, so I went to Exmouth, and it apparently was all underwater, and they said, and this is why I'm trying to see if they call their bullshit. They said you can still find like teeth and shit from what are the big sharky dinos,
Megalodon?
like a megalodon teeth and stuff like that. And it's a pretty
I'll
ancient
look that
area. Like there's a lot of historical like shit there that's uber fucking old. But I was like, I'm calling bullshit, but maybe, I don't know.
Most likely. Australia and that area in Oceanic, there's a lot of really cool stuff that's been eroded over time because of the way that like New Zealand and Australia and like all the islands around it formed. For example, Antarctica, right? We know it as this cold place, kind of like Europa. Well, it used to be a tropical rainforest, and there are plenty of dinosaur bones and fish and other types of animals we have discovered down there. Some of them are really badass. There's one called Cryolophosaurus. You can just look up Elvosaurus to make it easier, or I'll link it in Discord. It's got this massive, cool, like, crest on its head. But that's the thing, it's like, that's where it's really important to understand, like, how nature and geology and the earth have formed over billions of years to basically uplift this stuff so that when I go out to a place like Montana or Wyoming or England, over in Asia, I mean, people are finding eggs from dinosaurs because they're building a road, and they're just.
So who do you call if you're like construction working and you find something? What do you do?
That's another good question. Best thing to do if you can is call your local museum or university, because they're going to be the ones that have all the connections to get to the specialists.
Right. So you'll be like, hey, send me a photo, and they'll be like, nah, this is a dog shit. This is actually a piece of turd. And you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh,
well, yes. All the time, I'll have people come into the museum where I do work, and we have a laboratory that is partially open to the public so that we can talk to them about what we're doing. And they'll go, oh, I found this fossil. And I'm like, I am so sorry. It's just a cool looking rock, but that's it.
Right.
Where some other times people bring stuff in and I'm like, holy shit, that is the lower jaw of a juvenile mammoth. Can I please take a look at it further? In the back, and then, take some photos and let one of my other researchers know about it.
Let's just hypothetically say that I discover a new dinosaur.
Yeah.
Do I get to name it?
Sometimes. Depends. I would say for the most part, it depends on the people that research it to confirm it is a new species. So that would be like, you could, if you have a research program, go through all of that work, and sometimes it takes up to 10 years. No joke, Dreadnoughtus took about 9 years from the moment of discovery to the moment the paper was published. It was a long ass ride. But it's one of those things that it depends on who you're working with. Most people are pretty chill about it, honestly, though. So,
right.
And the other question that you had said about how do you get involved with it, the best thing to do, there's a few ways. You're going to have your local paleontology and geology chapters and societies that are in your area. They're usually like nonprofits. Get involved with them because they'll know people. And of course, if you have a local natural history museum that you can go to, go talk to them because they will have references. We bring, in my museum and my scientific institute that I work for, we bring people every summer to our digs in Montana and Wyoming. It is expensive to go do that, but you get to also go, hey, I dug up a T-Rex this summer. So it's pretty freaking cool. There's a lot.
I've got so many questions, and you don't feel free that you can leave, but I feel like people are enjoying it, so I'm just gonna keep.
Jesus, this is is what I do for a living. I talk about this crap for hours. It's
okay,
fine.
well, I'm just going to keep peppering you. So you're obviously pretty passionate about your job. What's the funding like? Like, I feel like there probably was a heyday for dinosaurs where there was probably heaps of funding and it was really exciting. And now we need another bloody Jurassic Park, right? Like, are people still excited about dinosaurs and fund it, or is it a bit rough?
It's a combo. It's funny. It's one of those things that I watched, like Jurassic Park again, and they'd make jokes about the funding. And as a kid, of course, I'm 5. I'm not going to get that. Now I'm like, oh God, what I wouldn't do for some funding. It really all depends on the area. It depends on your connections. But overall, I mean, in general, I would say as a worldwide thing, yeah, it could use a lot more love.
Is most of it from like research funding? Is that sort of what keeps it going?
Oh, 100%. If you don't have research, if you don't have somebody funding your research, you're not going to get what everybody sees on social media, which is usually incorrect. They're like, oh, the biggest, dinosaur was discovered here. And I'm like, it's not the biggest, though. You guys didn't read the paper.
Yeah. So if there's like a big mining company, right, or something that's doing some excavating of some sort and they stumble across something, have you ever had like disputes where like, well, there's a big pocket of oil here that's worth fucking billions, so we're just gonna go ahead? And is there any restrictions on preserving, like if they discover something, do they have to follow some sort of rule set, or can they be like, no, we own this land, so eat a peen?
So it kind of goes back to your previous caller talking about all the lawyer and legal shit that goes into it, which I personally don't know a whole lot of, because I'm like, hey, look, I like digging up dinosaurs. I like getting covered in dirt and mud, hauling them to the lab, cleaning them up, and putting them on display for people to see. When it comes to the legal stuff, it really all depends on the location. It depends on if you're digging on private or public land. It depends on the state. It depends on the country. There's so much that goes into it. Usually, and I'm speaking for North America, or I should even just say the USA, people are pretty good about letting the authorities know, hey, we found this while we were mining or dredging or doing God knows what, building a frickin' football field. I know there was somebody building a football field and they found a mastodon. That kind of stuff happens all the time. I think most people are pretty good about being like, hey, how do we deal with this? Then they'll get the specialist crew to come out there. When it comes to stuff that's happened in the past, one of the most, I'd say, popular dinosaurs to have this issue would be Sue the Tyrannosaurus Rex that is on display at the Field Museum in Chicago. I've seen her personally multiple times. I've cried each time.
Sue.
She's freaking gorgeous.
Wait, her name's Sue?
Sue, S-U-E. She's named after the paleontologist who found her, Sue Hendrickson. Basically, it was one of those, they were on like the last few days of the dig. She went off with her dog and saw some stuff sticking out of the side of this outcrop. Usually we're working in types of rocks. They're called sedimentary rocks. They're sandstone, limestone, siltstone, mudstone. They used to be dirt and, the sand that's in a riverbank and all that stuff. And over time they have solidified or lithified. She saw that, they started digging. Turns out to be one of the most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex skeletons ever in existence. She's got incredible injuries on her that, for me, as somebody who studies it, it's freaking awesome. It's fucking awesome, even. She's got so many injuries that have healed over, so it shows that, man, as a dinosaur, dealing with shit, getting bashed all the time, probably fighting other Tyrannosaurus Rexes, having parasitic issues in her jaw. She had shattered ribs that healed over. It's great.
Go on.
I was going to say, it's just really cool to have that. Then you get into issues with permits because she was not exactly on the land that they had a permit for.
Oh, no way.
It was like a few meters off. That started a massive lawsuit with the Black Hills Institute, this private owner, and it turned into a shit show, and I feel it's rough. There is a documentary called Dinosaur 13 for anybody who wants to
Dinosaur
watch it.
13 doco. Nice.
Yeah, if you like that kind of stuff.
So did they have to pay him out, basically?
Basically, she went into the government's hands, and then, believe it or not, McDonald's, out of all people, and one other corporation, I believe, bought her for over $8 million, and she went to the Field Museum in Chicago.
Whoa, Mackie D's. I just expected there to be like a McDonald's somewhere that has like a fucking dinosaur playground. It's really just bloody Sue. Just banged up into put some plastic around it, put some kids are playing in Sue. I had another question I was going to ask about. Okay, here's another one. So when you go to school, you learn about dinosaurs and the meteor, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're learning things, it's usually like the best theory, but it's not all like it's not necessarily the most current theory. Are there any other like theories about their extinction, or is it still the meteor?
There's a ton. And this is where science itself is always evolving in its own right. We go with what we feel is the best theory until another situation or discovery kind of puts that into perspective or starts kind of like a conversation. This goes for everything in life when it comes to science, medicine, and stuff like that. I'd say still the meteor that hit the Yucatan Peninsula in South America is mainly what did cause the dinosaurs to eventually go extinct. But of course, like, not all animals did. Right? I mean, we wouldn't, personally, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the small mammals and other types of animals that did survive that mass meteor impact. But other animals like your T-Rex, your Velociraptor, your other late Cretaceous animals, they could not survive that because the choking in the air, there was no oxygen, there was no sunlight, there were a lot of things going on, tons of volcanoes were erupting. There's also theories of, mass death due to various types of disease and viruses. There's constant volcanic activity that could have caused it. Greenhouse gases that were in the air, making an imbalance for animals to be able to breathe. There's so much. But overall, the meteor impact is still really what...
It's up there.
It's up there, yeah, because we can date it. We can date that it happened about 65.5 million years ago, which is when the last of the dinosaurs, our non-avian dinosaurs, were found to stop existing. But of course, a small bit of highly derived avian theropods, I almost said alien theropods because I'm playing Destiny, but a highly derived bit of small birds were able to survive, and now we have emus and cassowaries, and eagles, and my blue and gold macaw that I currently have, who makes the sounds of Jurassic Park, my god. But they all exist because of those small animals that were able to survive those extinctions. And our Earth has gone through so many. The Cambrian explosion was a beautiful place when things started to thrive. Then you have, like, right before the Triassic, there was a massive extinction event where animals that were alive before that were never to be seen again. So our Earth has gone through so many things. It's just the way of life. The strongest will survive in that aspect. And unfortunately, the big dinosaurs did not win.
On the topic of just sort of, I guess learning about a long time ago, and even though it's not in the field of dinosaurs, but have you ever, like, all those conspiracies about like an ancient civilization, or like there was, when you said a world-ending event, like, have you spoke to anyone about a dig that really rocks your industry? And people are like, dude, there were someone more advanced than us. Or I can't remember what I was listening to. I think it was a book not the hand of, it was the fingerprints of the god, I think got a lot of publicity. I think that whole centers on Antarctica and this other, you know, ancient race that got wiped out and was quite advanced and they built the pyramids, blah, blah, blah. Have you got any conspiracies for us?
No, unfortunately I do not. That's definitely something out of my realm. So I would not be able to comment on anything that would be...
Oh, that sounds like you know information, but someone's holding a gun to your head. What do you got?
What do I got? No,
what do you got?
Unfortunately, I wouldn't know much. I mean, that would be something that maybe, like, my archaeologist friends would know a little more about. Whether or not they believe in it is another thing, but that would be more on them because paleontology is strictly just ancient prehistoric life that does not involve any sort of, like, human activity.
Right, that's the biology part of it. Oh, wait, but no... Right.
And then you have anthropology, which is our ancestors that basically, you know, that where we started to become humans. And then you have archaeology, which is the study of ancient civilizations. I don't know where I don't know where those types of conspiracy theories would go between that.
Yeah,
or if they would be acknowledged by certain people. It's kind of one of those things that I don't know if there's any data out there to show it. And again, that's really just because it's out of my realm. I'm a bug, dinosaur, you know, old animal person.
Right.
So I'm like, I can tell you about bugs, like, you know.
So let's say you're digging in your backyard and you think you found something. Is there like a couple things that would be dead giveaways to like, actually, I probably should call someone about this? Like, you know, is it just literally a giant bone, or is there something like, I don't know. Is there anything that you'd be like, oh no, this is obviously just like, I don't know, the previous owners buried their dog here and there's obviously just like animal remains, or...
That's a really good question. When it comes to fossilization of bones, of skin, of any other type of, even like, you know, think of like petrified wood, you know, we study all different types of things. For example, like my actual name is Amber, which for anybody who knows Jurassic Park, science, I know.
Is that why you like Jurassic Park? Because of Amber?
I wouldn't be surprised. I remember just being so thrilled when I was like, I'm very important in this movie, apparently. Mosquitoes were alive back then. I mean, what they show in the movie is not that. It's a crane fly, but that's a different story for a different day. But
mosquitoes.
When it does come to that kind of stuff,
bring Myelin to work day.
It all depends
paleontologist.
on the location.
We just have a chat.
Like if you're living in like like in a city that's highly developed, and it's not anywhere near an area that would have the old rock. You need to have rock that's about 130 million years old up to about 65 million years old. To have anything that would possibly have dinosaur bones in it. Not too far away from me in the next state, yes, there are dinosaur bones. Right where I am, nope, nothing. It's way too old. It's about 600 million year old rock. So I'm going to find really cool shit like rubies. I'm going to find some other nice stuff, really awesome rock. I'm not going to find dinosaurs.
Do you have a podcast? Because chat wants a podcast.
Do I have a podcast?
Yeah.
No.
You should think about that. And also take some DMT. I feel like Joe Rogan. Everyone should have a podcast and everyone should have some DMT.
No, I mean, I've had people talk to me. I've been on podcasts, like, as a guest for other stuff to talk about it. And then, like, what I do at work, like, I do theater shows, I do tours of, like, our dinosaur, like, exhibits and, like, our lab. I guess it's because I did take theater when I was in college, so I'm able
perfect. Academia must love you, because god damn, there's some boring motherfuckers in academia. And as soon as you get someone like you who can speak and get people excited about research, boom, that's where the funding comes in.
Well, that's the thing. I do my best. Because all the time when I do events, I'm like, so hello, do you occasionally like dinosaurs? Would you like your name on one by any chance? it is one of those things that I've been in. I mean, then again, I'm a nerd, so I'm just like there, like so excited listening. But it can be one of those where it's really boring. I remember as a kid, I was in school, and the way teachers would drone on was a disaster. I mean, how is anyone going to listen to that? The second you put a little oomph into it, you'll get people listening, even if it's something they didn't find interesting originally. Maybe they'll like it just because, like you said, there's an entertainment factor to it. But wow, I never thought of a podcast. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, everybody wanting one.
Yeah, I mean, I think who doesn't like dinosaurs? Are you always the most interesting person at the barbecue? Like, people are like, what do you do? I work on dinosaurs, motherfucker. Oh jeez, it's so weird you say that, because I've had people say that to me, and I'm like, I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm really cool, but it's you
just,
are.
I guess, I apparently, I guess, I don't know. My parents were like semi-professional magicians as a child, so I'm really messed up.
Semi-professional magicians?
So weird stuff, man.
Oh, and yeah, I guess you're the normal one in the family, right? Because you're fucking doing dinosaur bait. So, quick, like, not word association, but dinosaurs you're working on right now that you can talk about. Go, name them.
Stegosaurus, T-Rex. Let's see. We have a whole bunch of ones called Suawasia. We have other ones called the Plodicus. I'm pretty sure people have heard of the Plodicus. We actually have this is fucking great. We have a place called the Mother's Day site. And it's this massive area in this one basin out on the border of Montana and Wyoming near Yosemite, or not Yosemite, Yellowstone. And it's just pile and pile and pile on top of these juvenile Diplodocuses, which are a long-necked dinosaur. If anyone's ever seen Walking with Dinosaurs, they were in the one segment about like the Titans and stuff. Anyway, they're all piled on top of each other. What we think happened, because this is so freaking weird, it's just juveniles. Literally, we're like, okay, so all the teenage kids
they had a party
on their own, no adults around.
They had a party,
and they had a party. Well, they all died because
it was a good fucking party.
It was a wild party. We're the only ones allowed to talk about it because they couldn't pass on their fun. But they all must have fallen into some ravine, or the land gave way. Something happened where they all piled on top. So it's been fun to just like keep digging further down and go, well, this isn't ending. And we just keep going and keep going. Let's see what else.
Wait, so you don't know why they're all on top of each other?
The theory, I mean, the only theory is, I wasn't there 125 million years ago, but I'm gonna assume they most likely did fall into a ravine, or
like a pit of some sort.
There could have been a flood. Something geological happened.
Right.
They all died at the same time. They don't really have any sort of injuries on them from an animal that would have been feeding on their carcasses.
Right.
And that's like, okay, they must have all gotten covered really quickly with water. It could have been a flash flood. And that's great for us, because then that only preserves them better, which is great for us.
Okay, I think chat really wants to get some questions, so I'm going to take some questions from chat, if that's all right.
Okay.
Million says, can you ask what the furthest she's dug down? How far? What's a deepest dig?
Oh, not much. I mean, usually we only go a few feet. I would say,
a few feet?
It's really not that much. People think you're digging like 20 feet down. That's the last thing you want to do. You actually want to go where everything is exposed. And it's literally laying there on the ground, and you're tripping over rocks, which are fossils. Fossils are rocks. There's a whole difference between them. This is turning into a TED Talk, apparently, which I'm fine with. Don't worry, I love this shit. But basically, like, where we want to go Personally, again, this I can't say for other people in the field. I have many friends in the field. They've got great stories too, but I feel like if I make a podcast, I'll have them on and they can tell their crazy stories.
Yep.
Usually we're only going a few feet down.
Right.
Stuff is already half exposed, which is great because otherwise, like, what are we going to do? Stand there and go, hey, dig here. No, we're usually looking for something sticking out of the rock. And I'm like, oh, hey, that looks like a rib. That looks like a femur. That's a claw. Let's start going.
All right.
So
I'm gonna keep cutting you off because we got you're passionate and I love it and it's heaps stuff, but we're gonna keep going. You ready? Okay. All right, next.
Yeah,
favorite dino and favorite like discovery, I guess. Favorite dig ever. What did you find? Favorite dino, favorite dig.
That's horrible. I'd say one of my favorite dinosaurs is Allosaurus. Just a badass late Jurassic.
Oh, is that bigger than the T-Rex? Like it's like a spiny
way
head.
Smaller.
A smaller.
Way smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
Allosaurus.
They're really cool. Allosaurus.
Right.
Best dig.
Discovery.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Best discovery by me.
Yeah.
Or
you involved in some extent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like the Stegosaurus opening up that rack of ribs and being able to see those teeth marks and knowing I was the first person ever to lay eyes on them, that was really freaking cool because it was a moment of going, holy shit, this is what I do. Like,
that's cool.
I'd say that. Yeah.
That's really cool. Feathers, yay or nay?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Anybody who says dinosaurs didn't have feathers, is ignoring every dinosaur that lives around them. The pigeons and that are shitting right on your car, that's a dinosaur. The magpies that bother everybody, dinosaur. The cassowaries, the emus, the frickin' parakeets that are in a store. Every single one of them is a highly derived avian theropod. So, yeah, they had feathers. And so did other types of animals like, cousins of Tyrannosaurus rex, Tyrannus, that's found over in like Siberia, that area. They were covered in types of feathers. The raptors, Velociraptor mongolius. You have other ones like that are in that family of Utahraptor, Dakota raptor. There's so many on that list that had some sort of plumage, whether it was to keep them warm or to display for the ladies or keep the other males away. Just like what we see in nature today.
Right. If you could rank, like, let's just say you had a time machine and we plonked a bunch of humans back when dinosaurs were roaming the earth. Yeah. What would you not want to meet? Like, what would 100% you'd be like, fuck, I'm dead. Like, just absolutely cactus. Just no escape.
Nah, I'm good. Any of it. I'm ready. I don't feel, I can't think of a single animal that I would be scared of. I've dealt with dangerous animals in my life. I've had face-offs with bears. I've dealt with venomous animals.
Bring 'em on.
Like, yeah, I really like I said, I have a blue and gold macaw. She is a monster in her own way. I've been bitten by her so many times. Bring it on. I'm ready.
Is there a certain like dinosaur that would just love to munch on humans, like that we would be the perfect like prey?
Oh, anything. I mean, we would be like a mozzarella stick to a T-Rex. We would just be ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. Keep it
mozzarella.
Mozzarella stick to a T-Rex.
Right.
And I'm personally Italian, so I legit would be a mozzarella stick. To be real.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully being killed by one of them would be
more
quick.
Questions, chat. More questions.
If it were a larger predator, a smaller predator would just eat you alive, which would really suck.
Yeah, right. Hey, the thing. Okay, here's a good one. Myths, accurate and myths from Jurassic Park. Like what was true?
Enough time.
You don't have enough time. Okay, tell us the things that piss you off. What pisses you most off about Jurassic Park that's just completely inaccurate?
God. Guys, chat, we would be here for hours if we even got into this. Okay. I have a Jurassic Park Jeep, mind you. But what I drive is a 95 YJ built like a Jurassic Park Jeep. Because again, nerd. But One of the biggest things that, just killed me as a child to learn was velociraptors, right? We see them in the movie. They're like 6 feet tall, 9 feet long. In reality, Velociraptor mongolius is only about the size of a turkey. They're about 3 feet tall, 6 feet long, and they lived in Mongolia, not the USA.
No way!
Yes. So when
they're
you see
turkey?
them, yeah, they're small. Listen, you're still screwed. If you have a pack of them running after you, you're screwed. But
Hey, is it the first which movie is it on the beach and the kids and the family get attacked?
Oh, that's the second movie, The Lost World. Those are called compies is the term for it. They're small predators too, which they would most likely probably eat you alive, and that would really suck. But those are about accurate for the size. But really, Velociraptor they wanted it to be bigger and scarier.
Right.
A North American cousin called Deinonychus was still bigger, but not big enough to the producers. They wanted something really creepy and just like it's gonna scare the shit out of everybody. So they based it off a larger version of Deinonychus. While they filmed the movie, they discovered out west an animal called Utahraptor, which is about the size of what you see in Jurassic Park. So raptors, like Utahraptor and Dakotaraptor, did exist at that size of 6 feet tall, 9 foot, feet long, killer claws. It's gonna suck, when they come and eat you. But yeah, the real velociraptors, the true size velociraptors, they're about the skull itself is about the size of your hand, average size hand. It's not big.
Right.
And they're found in Mongolia.
Do you have do you have any podcasts you listen to and any recommendations for people to enjoy dino facts and paleontology?
I don't listen to too many podcasts. I have to look. Let's see.
I'm just saying it's a niche. I'm just saying it's a niche, man. You might want to start up a Twitch channel called Dino Facts or something.
I might have to. I listen to Star Talk Radio with Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's amazing.
Right.
I don't have too many because I don't know. Like the only podcast that I'm on that I think still is running was called Herpentine Radio. But I don't know if they're still going on. My friend and I were gonna make something called What the Hell Wildlife to talk about the weird ass shit we just we deal with. He's got like a master's in biochem and evolution and all that, and the things we have witnessed.
Well, I'll tell you what, when the dinosaur gear comes out in Destiny,
I am so excited. Oh my god, I can't wait.
What if they don't have feathers on them?
Well, that is going to be a freaking problem, and I'm going to have to tweet Bungie and not get a reply.
I'm have to angry tweet Bungie. Oh shit! I was trying to take notes from chat. And I just wrote down favorite, but I don't know what that meant. Your most unique feature, like what's of a dinosaur you that people wouldn't know about?
A feature on the dinosaur?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what chat asked. Let's think about it. A unique feature. I mean, feathers would have been a good one when it was first sort of coming out. Anything similar to like feathers that people would be like, oh shit, didn't know that.
Well, I mean, there are like, and you have to understand too, like these are all theoretical things because again, I wasn't there when a T-Rex was alive, so I can't be like, hey, they definitely did that. This is just going off of all of our studies. But like, things that are really cool about these animals is that like we originally thought, and this is in the 1800s, they were these like slow-moving, cold-blooded lizards. They lived in swamps and they didn't do too much. Really, what they truly are is what we have today. Birds. They are able to regulate their temperatures really well. They have incredible night vision. They are really, really good at taking care of their young. Which most of them, not all birds. Some birds are assholes, as we all well know. Many of them can be. But like older specimens, like a Stegosaurus, we feel they use their plates to probably flush blood into their plates, because there are blood vessels that are against them, to either help regulate body temperature, or they were, showing off to a mate, a potential mate, or they're trying to ward off an animal or another rival for, the female stegosaur.
Right.
A lot of these animals could swim. We have great, what we call trace fossils. That's where an animal or an organism has left a trace of itself. So think dinosaur footprints. We can see where they actually swam across small, lakes and rivers to get to the other side, because we just see the tippy little bits of their toe claws skimming the bottom as they're swimming. You wouldn't think something like an Allosaurus or a Dreadnoughtus, a Deinonychus or something like that would swim. I'm just throwing out those dinosaur names as an example, not the actual dinosaur that did it.
Someone asked, were all dinos what is that? Oviviporous?
Ovipositors? Were they all ovipositors? Is that what they're asking?
Oviviviparous.
I think I just need to ovipositors.
Right, what does that mean?
If they're talking about if they were all egg laying, ovipositors.
Egg layers, right. Oh, yeah. Right, okay.
Yeah, to our knowledge, all dinosaurs are, maybe there's one that I don't know about. I don't know all of them. My specialty is in theropods and cleaning dinosaurs. There could be a weird-ass dinosaur out there I don't know about that I'm going to read about in a research paper and go, what the hell? That's pretty normal. But to my knowledge, and in general, they're all egg-laying dinosaurs. All birds lay eggs, right? I can't think of a bird that does not lay eggs. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Hey, wasn't there one that was like a giant platypus?
A giant platypus?
Have you heard of that one? There's a bunch. Oh, maybe they're not dinosaurs. There was a bunch. Oh no, I think they were mammals. There's a bunch of Aussie things that were just giant versions of what we have today, like a wombat and shit, and a giant platypus.
Oh yeah.
Hold on,
oh yeah. Freaking. Yeah, the Cenozoic era where you have the Ice Age quote unquote animals. Yeah, a lot of weird. That's the dawn of the mammals when they got really big and they were just like, well, this is for me now. Your giant sloths and stuff like that.
Yeah, like giant sloths and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we have some really cool fossils in our collection that were collected by past presidents of the United States that they found in caves because the animal died there and nobody disturbed them. You look at mastodons and mammoths and stuff. Holy crap! You think about, and this is something that's more out of my realm. Because I study dinosaurs more off than I do mammals, even though I do study them a bit. But, I dig up dinosaurs. I don't dig up mammals, for the most part. Unless they are found next to the dinosaurs we're digging.
Do you guys laugh at the mammal dudes? And, haha, you losers. We're looking at dinosaurs, you're looking at fucking platypuses. Is there rivalry in the industry?
Not that I know. There always is going to be, depending on who's got a bigger ego, depending on who found this dinosaur. That happened a lot, though, back more in, the 1800s when dinosaurs were first being discovered, and they're like, I found this, well, I found that, and then they're literally destroying each other's fossils to get the one-up on each other. It's called the Bone Wars. It was with,
The Bone Wars?
Called the Bone Wars, yeah. It's with, who's it? Leidy and why am I blanking? Because one of them actually worked at my museum. I'm totally blanking because it's late at night for me. But,
yeah, it's pretty late.
But yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those things back in the day. That doesn't happen so much now. But everybody for the most part that I deal with personally, we're also excited to share our work, to share what we found. It's so cool, and because it's a small niche group, yeah, we're pretty holy crap, guess what we found today? This guy urinated over there and he found a dinosaur. That literally happened. We call it urinator. That's one of the dinosaurs we found. It's its nickname.
It's called Urinator because the guy was taking a piss and he found a dinosaur?
Yeah, he literally was pissing on bones of a dinosaur, and this was years ago before I actually worked with this group. But the story of it's fantastic. So yeah, they started digging, and it turned out to be this beautiful Allosaurus specimen.
Wow.
It was so great. So yeah, stuff like that happens all the time. Usually you find them when you're not actually like focused on looking.
How hard is the industry to get into now? Like if people are like, wow, I want to go to uni and study this, what would you say to them?
I hope you are excited to not have any money ever. It is not a industry to make money. It's an industry of passion and scientific research.
It sounds like you need a podcast. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh God. Oh, if they really want a podcast, I'll think it. I'll definitely think it.
We'll promo it. We'll send the hobbits over. We'll send the hobbits over to enjoy the potty.
Oh God. I love your story you did earlier with the music while you were doing that that made up story for, what was it, Huggins or Higgins? That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there are that many people interested, I can definitely get a few ideas together, and I guess I'll mull it over in the Discord itself for people.
Yeah, do it, mate.
Tell them to at me.
At the very least, you need to do something for the dino armor in Destiny.
Oh, yeah, I cannot wait. I'm gonna be repping that all the time on my Titan. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I am somehow almost out of questions, and this was going to bring Matt to work day, but I'm basically not going to bring anyone else in because I don't think anyone can follow what you've said today. But I think this is probably made a great segment of just sort of, I mean, last time I forgot we've actually done this before. We had a rocket, no, we had a space engineering once.
That's awesome.
I think you Shadow of Chaos. That was telling us about, like, yeah, basically just like the rocket industry, I guess. Like not war rockets, but space rockets sending up satellites and shit. Kaz, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that I love that. I mean, like I said, I listen to Star Talk Radio with Neil deGrasse Tyson and a few other space. You know, I watch like space. Like I love that shit. I mean, it's just, you know, all that stuff together because it's part of how Earth was, you know, derived. And yeah, it's incredible what we as humans have been able to do in the realm of discovery and be able to get people to the moon and get, you know, all of our little robot friends on Mars. It's incredible.
Well, thank you for coming in and sharing all your knowledge and passion with
the
hobbits.
I hope enjoy.
I think everyone, like, here's the thing. Every now and then we have these streams that are like this, and you sort of had to be here to experience, and I think this goes on the list.
I hope, well, I hope so. Thank you so much for seeing it. I really did not expect to be seen, and here I am. So I'm glad I was able to share my knowledge and some of my info.
Do you have a Twitter or anything we should go and have a look at, or not really?
Not real. I mean, the only thing I really have, like, social media wise is my Instagram, but it's just me hiking long trails. I don't know if that really matters.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you get something sorted, you let us know and we'll make sure we'll go follow it and support it. Okay.
I shall look into that.
Awesome. And I'll be, you bloody better stick around until we get the dino armor because I'm gonna chat. Remember the name. How do we say it? Fjellheim?
It's Fjellheim. Yeah, Fjellheim. So
Fjellheim.
I'm Norwegian.
Right.
And Fjellheim means home in the mountains. And I'm a hiker, and I work in the mountains and dig up dinosaur bones. So it just felt like a good name to have, and
perfect.
Brings my Norwegian heritage in. So yeah, I live in the mountains.
Nice.
I'm definitely a mountain dwarf.
Okay, chat. Don't forget mountain dwarf. We need to get him. Write it down, chat. Okay. You have a great night.
Thank you so much, Myelin. This was wonderful.
This was great. See you later.
You.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.